up? Daily choices that can transform your life. I'm going to share a daily choice that I made that transformed my life coming up at the bottom of the hour. This morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab where
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle appeals, blood flow.
Nobody is expecting John.
If your lady's saying that, you're just
It's a super
Be entertained by fun over here.
How if I slept? Has my sleep been good? Is that
There we go. Good morning, everybody. You got Keith Bilous here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Don't hit the snooze button, boys. You hit the snooze button, you're 9 minutes behind. No, it's time to get up. It's time to get up. It's time to get rolling. Yeah, today we're getting into some daily choices that can transform your life. Starts right now. It starts right now, baby. Hey, you got Marty Fit, Christopher Martin digging himself out from the snowstorm there in Maryland. Yeah, building snowmen last night over there in the parking lots of the Gold's Gym. I can just see the family of snowmen that old Marty built. We got John Anderson lifting some big things over there in the corner, picking them up and putting them down. And of course, we got producer Jimmy on the buttons. He is making sure the show looks as good as it looks. And Tommy is out in the community interacting with all of you guys here today. Big show coming up. We got the exchange, our first segment, popping later today around the 8:15, 8:30 mark, the 9:15, 9:30 mark Eastern time of the show. Mike Smart is joining us for the exchange, a brand new segment all about you, all about the guest, all about the person coming to the show. And hey, just speaking frankly, it's a paid segment. So yes, baby, we got some cash coming into the show. Mike is stepping up to the plate and creating some content for his business. We'll talk all about that later on in the show. Listen, guys, the exchange is all about you. This show is all about me, Marty, and John, and Jimmy and Tommy. But the exchange and the products we're out here offering to the market is all about you guys. So we're moving our branding. I'm going to get off stage. We're going to bring Mike up here and promote the hell out of Mike's products and services coming up later on in the show. That is the exchange here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. And hey, guys, just a reminder, as I flip the tunes on, this show has language that might be offensive to the children. Matter of fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday and said, hey, Keith, I'm like, yeah, I sometimes don't listen to your show because you guys talk about things that I don't want my kids to hear. I'm like, yeah, baby. The funny thing is, Marty and Johnny, the things that I talk about on the show are the things that I do talk to my kids about. So, all judgment aside, this is not a place for judgment. It's a place full of grace. Listen, my kids are maybe just a little bit younger than me, but they're still human beings. And my philosophy on parenting is I'm just talking everything, educating, informing. So when we're talking like topics like masturbation or having sex with 1,100 guys or when we orgasm or how we're dating somebody or who our self-vulnerabilities are, yeah, have all those conversations with the kids. But listen, if those are conversations you don't want to have in front of your kids, I respect that. Those are conversations you perhaps want to have in private. Hey, Kian, I see you there in the messages. I do know I owe you some responses. Kind of busy here, brother, but I'll get after that with you. Jeremy Cunningham, good to see you there in the comments as well. And Amy Reinhardt, yes, joining us from Boston, Massachusetts this morning. Good to see you there, Amy. Jimmy, let's bring the boys. They've been patiently waiting for Uncle Keith to get off stage. What's up, Marty? How's the snowman today, brother?
There's no snowman. That's not even my personality, bro. It's 24 hours in a day. I ain't got time to make a snowman unless I'm with my kids, and I ain't got none.
Oh, Johnny Marty sent me a note last night late at night. He's like, Keith, I'm still here stuck at work. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And he sends me a picture from the parking lot and just a parking lot covered with snow. And I said, hey, Marty, you should go roll some snowman. And I could just see him going, really, Bilous? I'm not fucking making this.
No, ain't me.
How are you, Jonathan Anderson? How are you, buddy?
just for the record? Full name is just literally Jon.
Yeah, I know.
Not that I care. You can call me whatever you want. I'll respond to what I choose to.
You got to stand on your name, John. What you tell me? You got to stand on your name.
Exactly why I was saying it this morning. Yeah.
Say that one more time, Mark. I missed that.
I said you got to stand on your name, just like you told
That's
me.
it. That's it. You know, I got the double whammy because my first name is Jon.
Yeah.
Instead of John. My last name is Andersen.
I know.
So I got the, so people are like, oh, let me look you up by your name. I'm like, what's your name? I'm John Anderson. We'll never find it. I promise you we will.
I know. As we were first meeting each other less than a year ago, I was like, I can't find this John Anderson guy because he spelled his name a little differently. And it's actually John Anderson Real, right, Johnny? Is that the full name? No. That's just that's the internet works. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw on Wikipedia there last week. I was doing a little research.
That was something that I don't remember. That was in something I did. There was they called it a reel. That makes sense. So it was like a John Anderson reel, like John Anderson highlight would have been a better way to put it. Reel was used as highlight, and somehow fucking Wikipedia picks this up as part of my name.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
Well, I know, because I was reading Wikipedia on the weekend, and it was like, oh yeah, John Anderson Real, who goes by John Anderson, and I was like, oh, I just made an assumption that it was maybe, I know you get stepfather and real father, so I thought maybe that's where it picked it up from. I found that kind of humorous.
It's fucking crazy, crazy.
So Marty, when did the shift end last night, Mr. Boss?
I closed the gym at 8. Usually gym closed at 11, but we closed early, so I had to. My staff was, people get freaked out when it snows here, and it's like we get snow here, but if you were to put this in like Denver or like Buffalo or Winnipeg, like it ain't shit, So,
I know, yeah.
Well, it's all relative to your environment. You know what I mean? I mean, people get fucking bent out of shape around here when it rains.
I can believe that.
Because what happens is the water hits the fucking streets, and then the oil comes to the surface, and the roads get slick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's oh my god, it rained. Everybody be fucking careful. Jeez.
So Marty, you opened it up yesterday, and you closed it.
I didn't open up.
Okay.
Yeah, just closed it.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Hey guys, I found something interesting that I think we should talk about here this morning. I know we like to talk about.
Got something to do with Bonnie Blue?
No, it actually has.
Thank God.
It actually has something to do for men this morning. We're all about helping men, real talk, real men, helping men live their best selves, live their best lives. Johnny, Marty, I was reading something yesterday that when men stop, nation, just gonna pull it out there, put the kids aside here for a second there, but when men stop masturbating, boys, here's what happens to the risk of erectile dysfunction. It actually goes up.
Real quick, Keith, to your point about people like caring what we talk about here.
Yeah,
I had somebody that stopped watching us from my end because they don't like what we talk about. But like, come on, man, we're human. And you're not innocent. You turn the show. You hate what we say. Turn the show off and go have sex. So I don't even want to hear anything about you not liking what we talk about. Sorry to cut you off. I had to get that off my chest. I apologize. I
appreciate that, brother. No, I appreciate you said that because listen, we know the world has lots of choices, and if you don't like what we're talking about, you can go somewhere else, right?
Yeah. And I think you two waste too much fucking time on addressing this shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Jesus Christ.
Well, where else am I going to address it, John? Sometimes
it doesn't need to be addressed. Do we need to address the fact that the sun's going to go down tonight? No, it's going to happen. We just let it happen.
Hey, if I master my domain and let it out, sometimes I gotta let out what's on my mind too.
Well, master your domain, let that out. But shit, let out that. I guess, and keep in mind, different strokes, different folks. I'm not judging.
Hey,
the way I look at it is I just don't address things that don't help me move forward.
I will tell you, Johnny and Marty, it's fun. So first of all, Marty, I'm glad you brought it up. Awesome. Because that's what we're here for, right?
I enjoy letting it out. If that makes you feel better, John. I love it.
Like again, it's just opinion to opinion, brother. You know what I mean? I accept you for every bit of who you are. You accept me for every bit of who I am. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Like I didn't understand Keith using the word hate all the time. There's a lot of things I don't understand. So I just I tell you what I don't understand.
I like to talk shit, so I enjoy it. It gets me going for the day. it gets me fired up so I could crush the day.
Speaking of talking shit, I got to digress quickly.
So sorry, Keith. I ain't mean to.
Boys, this is awesome, man. We are in a fucking rhythm. No, let's make no mistakes. There's a rhythm happening here on the show, so we're going to keep it rolling. I'm loving the rhythm.
We're talking about jerking off, so there's a rhythm here. Spit it out, brother.
It's a rhythm jerk. Well, before we get to that, though, Marty likes to drop shit. I got to quickly digress. I was reading yesterday. I guess the New York Jets have sat down.
Marty likes to drop shit.
I know. I guess the New York Jets sat down with Aaron Rodgers yesterday and said, no more offering opinions on the Pat and Kathy show, right? Like, you got to live by this way, or you can't be on our team. So I bring that up because it's kind of the same way, which is, don't talk about shit we don't want you talking about. He's like, I want to talk about this. Marty's like, no, I want to talk about this. So
yeah, and they're parting ways with them. So
I know.
Yeah,
but listen. So
let's talk about that with AJ. Sorry. Let's talk about that with AJ, please. Yes. So
masturbation can have an effect on erectile dysfunction, but not in the way that you may think, boys. According to a recent survey done by Tango, 92% of American men masturbate, which we know, right? It's a common thing for most men. But despite the percentage, there's a pesky rumor that suggests that masturbation can cause erectile dysfunction. Now, the confusion seems to be in regards to masturbation. After we empty the clip, we become flaccid for a while, right? That's just generally how it ends. And as we get older, those times to recover takes longer. But here's the thing. If anything, when you stop masturbating, you increase your risk of erectile dysfunction, but not just because the physical impact, but the mental impact too. But guys, here's why we want to keep masturbating.
Neuroplasticity, baby.
No, well, yes, that, but also, boys, it helps prevent erectile dysfunction by strengthening the pelvic floor. We talk often on the show about core strength and core, and core abilities. When we masturbate, it's healthy for the body, no matter what your gender is. But what it does, it helps, increase your stability in your pelvic core. So, men, if you're not masturbating, you're gonna find yourself getting older with a weak pelvic core, right? And Johnny, talk about the pelvic core, right? It's our core strength, our core stability. It's within our pelvic muscles, and because of this, you may not want to stop masturbating, because if every time you
Marty, you there? Is that me?
I'm here, man.
Okay.
Then you're more likely not only to have erectile dysfunction, you're more likely to have a strong erection and have a strong pelvic floor. So boys, the reality is strong pelvic floor. And then here's the last point too, guys, is you're going to have a healthier mental outlook on life if you continue to masturbate. When we stop masturbating, we tend to tell ourselves negative stories, our confidence declines. And I'm just summarizing this research here. But boys, mental health, strong pelvic floor is why we want to keep masturbating. Johnny, Marty?
I think it just falls into the simple, old-fashioned saying, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yes, that is actually true. If you don't, that's
I mean,
exactly.
if you think about it, what is getting old? Getting old is stop doing shit you did when you're young. And once you stop doing it, it's very difficult to restart it. Yeah. So what's the fucking key? Don't stop fucking live young your whole life.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Johnny.
I got another saying for you real quick.
Yeah.
If you want to be the best, you got to get your reps. I just made that up.
That's it.
You got to get your reps in, man.
He's pulling the stuff out of the sky, out of baby.
That's right.
So Marty, here's the next question for our good friend, our brother Johnny. How many times is it normal to fart in a day?
I think that's very subject to what a person's eating.
You can't ask John that.
It's very subject to what a person's eating.
There's absolute truth to that. Research has suggested.
Okay, if the show is 90 minutes long, John got 90 farts in.
Do you sometimes wonder how Gary lives with John, Marty?
Well, what's crazy is when I overeat, you can literally, my system goes into overdrive. I start fucking farting up a storm. If I eat sugar, or if I overeat, or if I do both at the same time, then it's overdrive.
I feel sorry for Terry some days. I'm like,
I told her from the very fucking jump. We were literally in the car going to do our first date. We actually worked out on our first date once she came to me to do some of my agility training.
Yes.
And I told her, I said, look, let's just get the ABCs of me out of the way right now. I'd say I make a lot of weird sounds. I fart a lot. I take about 7 or 8 dumps a day. But if you can hang on in this ride, you're going to experience a lot of fun shit. And that's what I told her. And about 2 months later, she said, you as an individual have given me more firsts in my life than my life prior. So I was like, well, there we go. We're having fun.
That's so it's funny. My first date with Lauren, Marty, was, so what are your values? What do you want to do? Do you want to travel? Not I shit in the morning. I fart 20 times a day. I do this.
Well, I just listen. You got to understand. When someone's entering, it's like most people have never. Most people think they've been in the jungle, but they've been in the garden. You know, you got to explain to somebody what the jungle is like. You can't just have them show up in there and wonder where, life is different in the jungle.
Yes. Good morning, Adam Holward. I see you there in the comments. Good morning, the Obscure Ninja. Good to have you guys here. Hey, listen, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I invite you to subscribe to Mornings and Alive with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to keep you guys accountable, get your ass out of bed, and not hit those snooze buttons. Guys, listen, if you hit the snooze button all year, you're 2.5 days behind the other guy. John and I were talking about this yesterday, Marty, after you left, just kind of wrapping our heads around this. Like 2.5 days. You waste
55 hours.
That's incredible. Like, just think.
Is that me? Are you still here, Mark?
I'm still here,
snooze. Hitting snooze. Yeah, I think I'm having
That's
a little
all right.
bit of
There's short breaks. There's short breaks, brother. Don't worry about it. Keep on rolling.
Good. So, a study is suggesting, guys, that 13 to 21 times a day for somebody to fart is pretty normal.
And the funny thing is, most people don't have the balls to let that shit hang out.
I know.
Sometimes you gotta.
If I'm in the right, listen. If I'm with the people I know real well, I'll cup that thing and throw it in their face.
So.
Yeah, that's rude.
That's a white boy humor right there. See, Mark doesn't know what to say to that one.
Marty,
if I'm like with one of my best buddies, oh yeah,
Marty,
I'm gonna throw it at him.
Marty, we're not getting into the elevator with Anderson when we travel one day.
No.
Yeah, you guys have crossed the line. I'll give one of those to you for sure.
I walk around the corner. Well,
and if I'm driving the car, I'm locking the windows.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A big study was conducted with over 140,000 people, and they revealed that, listen to this one, boys. Amy Reiner, are your ears up? Check this one out. Women reported to fart, on average, 8 times a day, while men up somewhere in the 18 to 21 times a day. I'm sorry, 13 to 21 times a day. So think about that. So women
don't fart.
I was just gonna say, I'm joking. No, Marty, I laugh with Lauren about it all the time because she's always like, "No, I don't fart." Hey, apparently, according to the stats, you fart silently 8 times a day, and you don't even tell anybody. So there you go, boys. Here's your advice for the morning loop of Mornings Lab with Keith and Friends this morning. Let the gas pass, and make sure you're taking care of your own equipment because you're gonna have a strong pelvic floor as long as you're taking care of the masturbation situation within your life. Yeah, there we go, guys. All right, let's do the accountability check-in. Let's come back, keep the conversation going. We've got a lot to talk about here today. And where is my notes here?
Do you see what Jimmy said?
What's up? I think we lost Marty on that one, but that's okay.
I said, look at what Jimmy said. 20 farts on average. I'm more than average. Average.
Oh man, that's how this show goes here this morning. Let's get after it. Let's do this. Oh, Jimmy. Producer Jimmy on the buttons. We're making him famous in the Philippines. Yep. We sure are. Oh man. All right, this perspective can change anything. It can change everything, actually, no matter how stuck you feel. Your life is a scoreboard of your daily choices. Yep, here's the deal. When you see the score, you can't ignore it. No, baby, it's staring you right in the face. You can't ignore the score, so let's make it impossible to ignore. And here's how. You got to build your own scoreboard. Whiteboard on your wall, Notion, doc, Google Sheet, or an app, a massive poster where you cannot avoid it. Every habit gets a score. Yep, that's it. +1 for every action that moves you forward. -1 for every action that moves you backward. You scroll for an hour without intention, -1. Snooze your alarm, -1. You binge ate junk food, -1. You get the picture. Now, at the end of the day, add it all up. You like math? There you go. There's your scorecard. No messing around, you guys. And here's where it gets fun. When you see those numbers, you will not be able to ignore them. Nobody, because they're there. They're your facts. They're your facts. They're your habits. They're your activities staring at you right in front of your face. So you got a choice. Are you going to beat yesterday's score? Or are you going to accept it? Are you going to strive for a better score tomorrow? Or are you going to accept what you didn't achieve today? At the end of the day, guys, the decision's yours. It's like when you roll over in the morning, you hit the snooze button or do you get up to win? Because if you don't hit the snooze button, you're winning. Because right now there's a guy laying there. He's thinking, I'm just going to take 7 more minutes of sleep. I'm just going to take 9 more minutes of sleep while you're getting up, getting after it. You're beating that guy. So keep going. Track those habits. Track those scorecard. +1, -1, and add it up at the end of the day and see where you get after it. There you go. Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends, the accountability check-in. Adam Holroyd coming in with, no, I prefer to come into the office to use the gym. I'll have to do a home workout tomorrow. Yes. Are you farting in the office there, Adam? Is that what that's all about or what? All right. So I'm going to pull this over here and we're going to keep it rocking and rolling. All right. Okay. Let's see here. All right, guys. Valentine's is around the corner, as we know. Coming up this Friday, Johnny. What are you and Terry doing for Valentine's Day? I know as we get a little bit older, we tend to take things a little differently. Do you guys got plans or what?
Well, she's still in a sling, so we won't be doing too much. So I got her basically got her a pair of Gucci shoes for the actual present. At a time, so obviously being after surgery, and I figured it'd be nice to kind of have that before Valentine's Day. But then Valentine's Day, we'll spend some good quality time together. And actually, rather than get her a card, I write her I would just say a letter, somewhere between a card and a letter. She likes it when I do it like that, rather than me going to buy something.
Dude, I'm the same way, man. I've got into a habit of doing here, and I'd offer something for you to consider too. And anybody listening right now, I've just opened up a long, ongoing love letter to my wife, Johnny, and it's like a long text message, like a notepad, right? And I just throw my words in there, right, throughout the day, throughout the evening, throughout the week, because I think words are a powerful thing, and it allows me to express myself in an ongoing fashion, right? And sometimes, and what those words are, is almost like a personal journal to my wife, Johnny. Right. So when I'm feeling like when I'm battling my brain in the morning, or I'm feeling good about our relationship or bad about it, it's just a way to kind of express, initiate conversation, and just kind of throw it out there. And it's been a really wonderful. And that's why I struggle with these days where it's like, okay, it's Valentine's Day, or it's somebody's birthday, or it's this special day on the calendar. Like, no, man, just do it all year. Like, why do we have to pick a day to celebrate something when we have all year? You know what I mean? That's where I get frustrated with these situations, which is why I like what we do here, because this is normal for us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, hey guys, what sets high achieving men apart? I got 7 daily habits that I want to throw out there. We know them, but let's talk about them with the boys.
I can summarize all 7 right now. Doing the shit that most people won't do.
Let's do it. All right, let's do it. So
do it. It's simple. Doing the shit most people won't do. That's what those 7 habits.
That's the summary. That's the summary.
That's all right, next topic on the show today.
So what are the details? What are the 7 details?
Yeah, the number one is, and this is what what we wrote up here this morning was owning the morning.
Bam.
I had a conversation with somebody yesterday who said, I don't know about the morning. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I kind of start my day a little bit later. I said, well, that's the problem that you're having. He's like, well, what do you mean? I go, well, you're starting your day too late. He's like, no, but I still get my shit done. I go, no, you're still starting your day too late. The morning is where it all starts, man. You got to start the day in the morning. So owning your day in the morning.
Can I add real quick?
Yeah.
I was going to say the only exception to not owning the morning is if you're up till 2 a.m. every day.
Yes.
And your day starts later. Because I have a good friend who actually he got drafted to the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's like, He's like, I'm not waking up early in the morning. I'm doing my workouts at noon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just depends on what your morning is. The time isn't really.
Exactly.
It's what's early for your schedule, for sure. It's not about 3, 4 in the morning. It's about, are you getting up before the rest of your arena, so to speak, your field?
Yep.
That's a really good point, Johnny. And I'm really glad you raised that, because you're right. Shift work schedules. It's this idea that I love you said your arena. If you're competing in your arena and you're the guy getting up after everybody else, you're losing. So the reality is you got to get up before everybody else in your arena. I'm with you there, man.
But I'm the same. When I was wrestling, sometimes I wouldn't be on till 9 p.m. I wouldn't be back to the hotel till 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But when I was getting up at 8, that was way earlier than everybody else.
Hey, Johnny, in that lifestyle, was it very much a evening, like late night lifestyle where you're sleeping until like your evenings, like your mornings are actually your night times? Like talk to us a little bit about that, Johnny. Like, what was that lifestyle like?
I mean, I pretty much did everything I do. Everything just shifted.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than go to bed at so whether it be in strength or in bodybuilding, those you have much more control of your schedule. Very rarely do you have to stay up late. So I went to bed at 8 o'clock, which I still do. I've gone to bed at 8 o'clock almost my whole life, except for when I was wrestling, because when you're on tour, the shows don't even start till 7. So especially if I'm in a main event, I'm not back to the hotel till 1, which means then basically I'm everything just shifts. So life is the same. You just kind of get rid of the numbers.
You know what I like about you going to bed at 8 o'clock? Mark Wahlberg goes to bed at 7:30 because they're up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what? As I'm getting older and still learning in life, what I'm really enjoying listening to you, John, going to bed at 8 o'clock and just watching Mark go to bed at 7. You think about it, right? We don't make generally good food decisions come after 7 or 8 o'clock, eh? So if you go to bed, you can eliminate so many bad food decisions because you're going to bed, you're sleeping. And I know in my experience, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, it's hard to battle those food decisions. That's got to be a big part of it. No, John?
I mean, you're so correct. After 8 o'clock, not much good happens in most lifestyles. There's a guy up in Canada, Dan Martell. You recognize that name? Yeah. He's been on record plenty of times say if you go to bed at a set time and it's early, you will be successful. That's like one of his foundational pieces of advice.
Yeah. It's hard to argue.
I mean, it's like, why do you go to bed early? The fucking list goes on.
Yes.
I mean, you're number one, you're getting distractions are almost always after 8. Let's just call it 8 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
Distractions are after 8. Wasted time's after 8. Shit you're not supposed to be doing is after 8. Poor food decisions. So many things after 8 are not supposed to be happening, but you stay up and have to fight that 2-3 hours of basically what you're not supposed to be doing. So fucking go to bed. When you get up in the morning, let's just say it's 3 hours, normally 11, go to bed at 8. You're getting up normally, let's just say it's 11 to 7, right? Now, so you go to bed at 8, you're getting up at what? 4, right? Yeah. You're not going to fucking get up at 4 and go lay on the couch and eat Cheetos. You're not going to get up at 4 and watch the fucking Cosby Show or whatever. You're not going to get up at 4 and do all the dumb shit you were doing after 8 the night before. So just by the nature of shifting your schedule, you've probably 10x your productivity.
It's so true because I'm thinking about it, and we always profess here about living with intention, and you're right. Come 8 o'clock, like from 8 till 9, 8 till 10, we're really not living with intention. We're living by reacting, right?
The idea of what life is like after 8 is very different than up to say 5 or even 6. But I mean, if I can't, what it was is somebody, it was on a podcast, what would you say one of the biggest things that help you be successful in all of what you've done?
Yeah.
I said to go to bed early and I get up early. Well, how does that equate to success? Well, fuck, you're just not getting this here, because you're taking 3 hours of potential waste, potential strain, potential struggle, and you're turning it into 3 hours of most likely productivity. Do the math on that. If you're awake, how many hours? You're awake, 18 hours a day? No.
16 to 18, sure.
16, call it 16.
Yeah.
What's 3 hours of 16? What's the percentage?
Very little.
It's what close to 20%, something like that.
Yeah.
If you can add 20% of productivity into every fucking day of your life, you can't help to get ahead.
Well, and then you add up. This is fascinating to me because if you stay up past 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the likelihood of you hitting the snooze button in the morning goes up considerably. Right.
Well,
So
see, that's the whole point. If you've got the discipline to go to bed on time, you don't hit the snooze.
You're essentially
going to bed on time. It's so much more difficult than fucking not hitting the snooze. Hitting the snooze is like giving a fucking whale a Tic Tac. It doesn't even enter your fucking mind.
So true. So there you go, guys. Let's just quickly wrap this up. The high achieving men, 7 daily habits, right? Before we get to the fit tip. Own the morning, you guys. You got to own the morning. And then when you get up, train like your life depends on it. Yes, train like your life depends upon it, because it does. Weak body, weak discipline, strong body, strong execution, right? Lift heavy 3-4 times a week. We know resistance and strength is the key to longevity. You can't debate it. Say no more often. Go ahead, Marty.
Got some sled work and some ski machine working today. Just want to throw that in there.
Nice. There you go. Yes.
You know, baby.
I love that. Sled work is awesome, man. Out in the snow, Marty, you going to push the sleds with the dogs?
Didn't go out in the snow. Didn't do that.
Johnny subscribes to this, and so do we on the show, guys. Say no more often. We're so quick to say yes. I found myself saying yes to a lot of things yesterday, boys. After I hung up the phone, I was like, what the fuck am I doing, man? I got to say no a little more often. So say no more often, guys. Successful men don't say yes to everything. Use failure as fuel. We talk about that on the show all the time. Failure means you're winning. If you're not failing, you're not trying, guys. So
you're learning. You basically you learn or you win.
Yes, which goes to number 5, guys. If you want to own the day, keep learning. Surround yourself with winners and show up every damn day. Not hard, guys. I know all these are cliche, but that's why we talk about them, because cliche is often truth. And sometimes we need these daily reminders to get our ass up and get going. But listen, let's get to the fit tip. Marty, get after the fit tip. And then when we come back, guys, let's get into some personal conversations about life-changing moments. Marty, let's get after it, brother.
Yes, sir. All right, we got the fitness tip for today, man. Heavy hitter right here, but it's nothing but the truth, all right? You got to have tough skin when you're trying to get on your fitness journey. You can't let every little thing offend you. You can't be hyper emotional, and you have to just push through. So we know the process isn't easy, right? But kind of what we were talking about, you know, you got to learn how to say no to some people. This is an example, right? And you can't get upset every time someone doesn't respect your journey. So you got to have tough skin. Tell them no, learn how to move on, right? You're going to have people that say negative things to you. Why are you doing this? They're going to question you. What's the point of this? You're not an athlete, you know? You're not an NFL player. You're not an NBA player. What are you doing this? You got to have tough skin and be able to block that out. Here where I am in the D.C. area, we got a baby snowstorm, but they act like it's a big snowstorm, right? A lot of people didn't want to get up this morning, even though majority of the roads are clear. They prepared last night and put salt down. A lot of people just looking for a reason to stay in the bed. Now, of course, we want you to be safe, and if it's absolutely dangerous, we don't want you to drive. But that's not the case for most people. I guarantee it. I was on the road last night and today. But you got to have tough skin, and you got to be able to go against those things that are holding you back. And lastly, this is, excuse my language, you got to stop bitching. You know, I had a rough day yesterday. I didn't want to get up early this morning and get it in, but I know it was probably best for me to get my workout out the way because I got a whole bunch of shit to deal with, especially with this snow later on, right? So get the bitch voice, sorry, excuse my language, out of your head and have some tough skin. That's the fitness tip for today.
Christopher Martin, see Marty Fit. He didn't want to be here today, but he's here. Oh, yeah, baby. I got a text from Sam. Be a little bit late this morning. Was he late? No.
Actually, wasn't late.
late to Marty, he's like, the show starts at 8. The late to Marty, he's like, not here at 7:45. So, so it's funny because when I get the text to you, Marty, I'm like, I nod and it goes in one ear or the other going, thank you for acknowledging me, but I know you're not actually going to be late, but I thank you for telling me that.
I'm going to be late one of these days. I'm going to be late one of these days.
I know you will. So, guys, I want to get personal. I want to get personal with our audience, and I want to share a story that I wrote yesterday. I got a post dropping here in about 45 minutes on the LinkedIn platform, but it's about, excuse me, daily choices that can transform your life. And I wrote something yesterday, deeply personal, and it's titled, I'm sharing this story because I know that I'm not alone. And ironically, guys, you know, it was today's date a number of years ago where I got the phone call which was, hello? Yes. Oh, really? And it was that phone call, Marty, I told you about, which is the phone call from the company that I started, saying, yeah, Keith, we're going in that direction. We went you that direction. I'm like, holy fuck. And all of a sudden, didn't have a job. But listen, I'm sharing this story, guys, and I want to get into a conversation. I'm going to ask Marty and John this same question when I'm done sharing the story, which was has there been a choice in your life that you had to make in your journey that absolutely changed the course of your life? Because I made one. And I found myself this week watching a video, and it actually made me quite emotional as I watched it. But I'm sharing this, Marty and John, because I know that I'm not alone. And the other day I watched an old video of myself. And guys, at first I felt nostalgic. And it was a clip from my early social media days, back when the word influencer wasn't even a word. People weren't talking about influencing when I was starting out in social media. But then, guys, I saw his eyes. My son's eyes, sitting beside me in the video, watching me. But John, Marty, I wasn't there. Fuck, man. I was busy performing. I was chasing attention. I was measuring metrics, chasing vanity metrics. And the gut punch, I wasn't a father in that moment. Oh, man. I was an actor, being a narcissist. And that moment haunted me. And it haunts me to this day, frankly, because I saw the reflection of my choices staring back at me in the eyes of my 8-year-old son. At that time of my life, the endless push to build, to grow, to be seen, to be the big man. And in that moment, I made a decision that changed everything for me. It's still affecting me to this day. I walked away. I walked away from all of my social media platforms. And boys, I fucking started a social media company. I deleted it all. I left Instagram, I left everything. I disappeared. I became a ghost. And let me tell you guys, that decision transformed my life in ways that I never saw coming. I didn't know I was going to lose my job one day. I didn't know I was not going to be the leader of the company that I started in the social media industry. And you see, in a world that's obsessed with vanity metrics, at the time, Marty, Johnny, I had all the makings of a top influencer. I was on the same path as Gary Vaynerchuk. I built one of the biggest social media companies before most even knew what user-generated content was. I had the numbers, I had the followers, the validation. But John, Marty, I chose something else at that time. I looked in the mirror and I decided I needed to be a dad. To build a life that wasn't dictated by an algorithm. To build a life that wasn't dictated by vanity metrics. And that decision, guys, it wasn't easy at the time. Back then, it cost me opportunities. It cost me exposure. It cost me money. And it's still haunting me today. People are like, yeah, who the fuck are you, man? You have no social proof. All right. I got wonderful children, though. But what I gained was presence, was purpose, was clarity. But now, years later, I'm back, baby. But not for the numbers, not for the clout, for a mission. Myself, along with my colleagues, my friends, my brothers, John and Marty, I'm back to build something real, to inspire men and women through the power of live conversation. Now, I'm sharing this, you guys, because I know that I'm not the only one. And I know that maybe some of you have had this moment, and maybe you're in it right now. Maybe you're stuck between what the world says to chase, what it says to choose, what you think you should be doing, and what your gut knows is right. Maybe you want to buy those fake followers. Maybe you want to join the engagement pod. Maybe you're drowning in social profile comparison disorder. And if that's you, let me share with you what I've learned. The numbers, guys, they don't matter. The legacy that you create every single day, what you leave does. And the impact that you're creating isn't measured by the followers and the social media profile you have. It's measured by the people who will remember how you showed up when it mattered most. So Marty, John, I invite our audience to ask themselves this. Are you guys chasing attention? Or are you chasing this desire to make an impact? Because that answer is going to shape everything. Because I know what I'm chasing, boys. And the irony, you all think I'm chasing attention. You all think I get up here and get on the stage and think I'm fucking chasing attention. And if you think that, you're not paying attention. Because the truth is this. In these words waiting for you, I invite you to read between the lines. Because it's never been about being seen. It's about making sure that you can see clearly. There you go, boys. That choice that I made back years ago changed my life. And today's discussion is really about daily choices that can transform your life. And I still deal with that decision today. Marty, Johnny, have you guys been down a path where you've had to make a choice that has come back and either haunted you or helped you? Johnny, start with you, brother.
Yeah, I think the pivotal piece of my journey was when, I mean, I kind of knew it from early on. I just didn't know how to say it, right? But basically what it came down to, I went to college, right? And what I didn't share with everybody there was everybody went to college so they could go get a good job. That's what everybody talked about. That's really, I had zero intention of going to get a job. I knew that I wasn't going to live my life that way. And it caused me a lot of, there was a lot of grief, of course, because, being broke and, obviously my mom was just, she was paralyzed, she didn't understand what I was doing. But anyway, the idea that I had no intention of getting a job and the fact that as of me being 53 years old today, and I've never once collected a paycheck. What does that mean? It means I've done it my way. It means I've never had a job as an adult. When I was before 18, obviously the rules of the house was I had to have a job. And at that point, I wasn't brave enough to try to start my own business, nor did I even have I don't even think they would have let me. Let me try. But the pivotal thing for me was knowing that I was not going to live my life like everybody else.
How did you know that, John? Before I get to you, Marty, how did you know that, Johnny? Like, how did you know?
Bro, sometimes there's just things that you know.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't have described this to you. If you'd come and talk to me at 22, 24, I was living the life, but I couldn't have explained to you what I just explained to you right now. I couldn't put it to words. I just knew this is what I was supposed to be doing.
I'm getting emotional right now. I got some goosebumps because I'm just feeling the connection right now. But Johnny, I ask you that because, people are asking me about the business that we're building right now. And like, well, how do you know? Sometimes you just know, right, John? Marty, like you have this undeniable self-belief that you can't describe to anybody else. You look in your own mirror and you just know the answer to the question. Hey, Johnny?
Well, brother, I mean, listen, first time we met, I was like,
yeah,
I don't know what it is, but this little nutty son of a bitch is onto something.
I know, but that's what I mean. Like, you just know, right?
And that's what my point is, that what was the reason, sometimes I can't tell you why I do what I do. I just know I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah. Marty, let's go to you, brother.
And the thing about it is the people that have to have the reasons.
Yes.
They're the ones that are fucking distracted from basically figuring out what they're supposed to do. So stop fucking asking me questions about why I'm doing what I'm doing and start focus on your own fucking universal signals.
Yes. I will say I've been inspired by both you men since we've been hanging out together. And I've recently been taking some step back and been inspired by artists that I respect. Yes, Kendrick, and so forth, to be more personal with my words, to almost write them like a lyricist and write them as if I'm creating a song. Leave or love Taylor Swift aside, but she is a great storyteller. Kendrick Lamar is a great storyteller. I love telling stories. I have a lot of stories to tell. So Rick, I appreciate those kind words. That's my desire, is to keep telling personal stories to inspire all of you. But Marty, I'm looking to you, brother. I've heard your journey. We know your journey. Some of us turning in don't know the journey, but what was the time in your life where you realized you had to make a decision? And maybe you're in the process right now, or maybe you haven't made it yet, but can you reflect a little bit, Marty, and lean into this?
There's multiple, I could go all day, but it all comes down to one theme, so I'll share the theme instead of a specific story.
Yes.
But the theme is, you got to learn how to get comfortable with pissing people off. It's okay, right? If I'm going to piss you off because I'm doing what's best for me and what's going to help me elevate, then that is what it is, And I'm kind of similar to Johnny, I love my mom to death, but we've had our differences because she kind of doesn't understand the path I'm on too, So, I've had to.
They just want us to be secure, Exactly. And security to me, that's an enemy. When I'm secure, I get fucking real unhappy.
Yes. It's all, and it's all behind love at the end of the day. They're doing it because they love it.
Oh, yeah. All they want, because keep in mind, they were raised by people who went through the Great Depression. These motherfuckers didn't have enough to eat. All they wanted to do was know that their families were okay. So that transcended into our parents, which then they gave it to us. But then we didn't actually get raised in that. So we're telling our kids, go chase your dreams. So thank God we're kind of turning this whole thought process around. I did a speech 2 years ago at San Diego State. And I had this small amphitheater full of they were all there's like the leaders group. I can't remember what it was called, but so I said, listen, I want to show of hands. Put your hand up if you're pursuing your passion as a form of making money for the rest of your life. And I was fucking astounded at how many hands went up. I was just like, oh fuck. I mean, granted, these were leaders, you know what I mean? These were the kids that got it, but I mean, it was probably 65%. I was expecting like 10% because our generation would have been 10%, and everybody would have looked at those 10% like, you fucking weirdo. You're never going to make it as a musician. Go cut your fucking hair. As to where now, people that are raising their hands up, they're looking at the people that are not going, you fucking pussy.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it, man. It was really fucking cool to see how our generation as parents, we didn't have, we've kind of flipped that script, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I just want to wrap that up real quick. But yeah, you get cool with pissing people off. And if you think about it, that's why fitness is the greatest parallel to life. You're getting your health better, right? You're improving your health. And it's going to piss off people around you. So I just wanted to tie that into everything. That's why I love fitness so much. I kind of tie everything back to that.
It's true. I love it. Johnny, I heard somebody say something yesterday that you get into your 50s and you kind of find a point in your life where you don't care about anything. You don't care because you're at a point in your life where you're feeling pretty comfortable. And I've found this way, I hit this in my 30s where I didn't care about anything. But now, John and Marty, now that I'm 50, going to be 53 in a couple weeks, you don't care about anything because I've been around a little bit. I've achieved something. I've been around half a century, Johnny.
Well, let's twist that a little bit first, so the viewers. I get what you're saying, but the viewers need to understand. We're talking comfortable with ourselves.
Yeah, yes.
We want to keep ourselves uncomfortable, so we're moving forward. Because if the journey ends, we become fuck. Oh my God! If I didn't wake up feeling like I was in pursuit of something, life would be very different in a very unhappy way. So I so agree with what you're saying, and for the listeners, we're very comfortable with who we are.
Yes.
You don't like me? It's okay. Just dislike me from over there.
Yeah. Well, John, I'm glad you said that because when I was back in my, back in the world that I left, when I was sold the company, stayed as the boss for many years, I was unhappy. I was maxed out. I was at a ceiling, right? And there's days when I'm growing the business today where I'm like, oh, today's tough. What's the alternative? Oh, I don't like that. I don't want to go do that, right? Because that's to John's point. It doesn't inspire me. That just holds me back. That doesn't move me forward.
It's a fucking distraction.
Absolutely.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So there you go, guys. Listen, all you tuning in right now, Clody, Mike Smart, the Obscure Ninja. I invite you guys today to ask yourselves as you've gone throughout your day here today, which is what are some daily choices, or what is a daily choice that's transformed your life? And maybe today's the day You're making a choice that's going to transform your life. As we talk about on the show, it could be scary, but I would invite you to walk towards that failure, accept it, move past it, and see what happens. All right, let's do it. Let's do the lifestyle tip, and then boys, let's come back with this one. Maximum pleasure and minimal time. Valentine's Day is in 2 days. I'm going to give you guys some suggestions on how to have some good time with your partner in a short amount of time. Let's get after it, Johnny.
We all face things in our lives that think are going to really fuck us up. Forgive my French. Life happens. You just never know what it's going to throw at you. But here's the thing. It's temporary. In our minds, we seem to think that these problems that we're facing are going to last forever. Well, in reality, most of those problems never even come to fruition, meaning they only live in our minds. But the ones that actually do land in our laps, the ones that actually do become reality, the things that we do have to deal with, the things that we do have to overcome, just remember, they're temporary. Outlast the temporary, because on the other side of that, what you might call a problem, which is actually a challenge or an opportunity, there's a better version of you waiting for you. And all you had to do was outlast the temporary to go meet that better version of yourself. Rock and roll.
John Anderson, always dropping nuggets every day here, 8:45 Eastern time. Give you guys something to ponder and think about. Help you move forward. Hey guys, I'm loving all the comments coming in here. Jeremy Cunningham, high five over to you, brother. Appreciate you. The Obscure Ninja, appreciating you as well. We got Jimmy there in the comments as well. Who else we got here? We were Rick Clody. Brother, I appreciate you, brother. You're right. Ignore the noise. The noise will get in your way. Yes, only two motivators, y'all. Love or fear. I'm feeling the love this morning. We're feeling it as well here, Rick. And speaking of love, guys, let's get to this one, Jimmy. Who said you need hours, Johnny, to have a good time? Who said? Listen up, gentlemen.
So you said you need, what was it? Hours?
Who said you need hours to have a good time?
Hours like time?
Yeah. Listen up, gentlemen. You don't always need a 5-course meal. Sometimes a damn good snack hits the spot. Johnny, sex is no different. A quickie is about cutting corners. It's actually not about cutting corners. Sorry. It's about raw, unfiltered, we can't keep our hands off each other energy. And guess what, guys? Ears up. Science backs this up. Quickies. Yeah, we got Valentine's Day around the corner, guys. So listen, let's lean into this one. Quickies flood your system with dopamine and oxytocin, two heavy hitters when it comes to feeling good and staying connected. Stress relief, mood boosts, and reinforced bond with your partner. If done right, Johnny, they can be some of the most intense, electrifying moments that you'll ever have. So listen, guys, let's get into today to set the stage for the quickie today, tomorrow, or Friday as we approach Valentine's Day. Here we go, guys. You got to prep like a pro, but you don't train for a marathon without stretching first. And you make sure as hell you don't want to fumble it quickly because you weren't ready. So, Johnny, let's set the stage, man. A quickie isn't just a rushed version of regular sex. No, it's strategic. Pick the spot. Is it going to be the shower? Is it going to be the kitchen counter? Is it going to be the pool table? Is it a locked office door? Where is the privacy with some excitement? Dress smart.
I think on that level, I think when it's time trying to find the spot, like there's not one available, and you've got to actually problem solve to figure as that boner becomes more and more throbbing because you're looking for that fucking corner, or wandering off in the woods or whatever it is to find that place.
That's exactly it, Johnny. Yes, that's exactly right, brother. And then you want to
anticipation.
And then listen, if you're looking for the quickie, Marty, you got to dress smart. You got to think that the clothes need to be easy to maneuver. Maybe she needs to wear the skirt. Maybe you need to wear some loose fitting pants, right? Maybe you want to skip the belt, right?
No, check this out, brother. When I would come home from a wrestling tour, keep in mind, our girls were, 6 and 8. Terry would just know there was a certain dress that she would wear with no underwear, no underpants. Yeah. Because we were just looking for that fucking spot. Yeah. When I say that spot, I really was talking about just a few minutes of time when the kids were distracted enough, and then we could find a way to get down. And sometimes it was like just literally, me sitting on a couch and her just basically pulling that dress in a certain way and sitting down on top of me for a minute. But I mean, when it comes down to it, that's a classic example. Like, I'm not waiting until tonight.
That's exactly.
She was feeling the same way.
That's exactly right, boys. So listen, so we want to start with the dress. We want to make sure we're dressed properly for the quickie, guys. We don't want to have the Canadian tuxedo on where we're all dressed up in a big fucking jean jacket and tight jeans and a belt, and it takes an hour to take the tuxedo off. No, you want to dress quick and loosely. Tools of the trade. Listen, if you think you need some lube, you might want to have some lube in the area. If you think you want to have some toys, well, listen, a compact vibrator can turn a 3-minute sprint into a 5-star experience. And foreplay, well, listen, that's why we have phones. A quick text throughout the day, some of that could get the excitement moving in the right direction. And then how do they execute the 10+10 quickie? Get your head in the game. Quickies are mental. Yes, you can't be thinking about emails or errands, boys. No. You can't. You got to lock in, get present, and focus on the moment. And Marty, boys, you got to drop the penetration pressure. Penetration isn't required for satisfaction. Hands, mouths, toys, use the whole playbook, you guys. You got it all, right? Find your go-to position. Think about it. Plan it. Is it against the wall? Is it vertical? Is it efficient? Is it primal? Bent over the table, the desk, the counter, the couch, lap rides. Guys, I'm giving you things to think about. Johnny, we talk about this all the time. I know you and Terry are a big fan of this, and I am as well with Lauren. Communication is king. Even when it's fast, you need to stay in sync. The grunts, the whispers, the hand signals, and make it clear what works and what doesn't work. And guys, here's the thing. Focus on the climax, but don't force it. Not every quickie ends in fireworks, and that's okay. Sometimes it's about the experience. You heard Johnny talk about, it's like just finding the moment or finding the space. That's all about the experience. That's all creating the connection, the rush. Maybe you're on an airplane and you guys are just trying to figure out how to get into the toilet to go have that mile-high sex, and maybe it doesn't happen, but it's the enjoyment and the fun along the way. But here's what it's all about, guys. Maybe making quickies as a part of your lifestyle is the way to go about it. Because, guys, sex isn't about time. It's about intensity. It's about passion, connection. If you bring that energy in under 5 minutes, you're doing it right. So stop overcomplicating things. The next time the moment strikes, don't wait. Steal the kiss, lock the door, make it happen. Because life's too short for bad sex. Life's too short for no sex. So, gentlemen, I invite you, go forth. Think about the day today. Think about how you're going to get after the next few days. And may your quickies be legendary. So maybe as you're planning your Friday escapade with your wife, maybe this is the way to go about it, doing it in a quickie situation. Marty, Johnny, commenting on our little quickie discussion here. And yes, good time, the drive-through quickie. That's exactly it. Marty, comments on the quickie discussion today, brother?
I'm just taking notes, man.
I love it. And good time. This is with your partner. Although I do have a topic this morning about.
I wanted to chime in real quick though.
Yeah.
My quickies a little different. I don't have no kids or nothing, so I could just do regular. I could do regular. I don't have to have all these tricks and stuff. But I'm taking notes for the future.
Well, sometimes, Mark, like, what about? I mean, when I was your age, and even younger, especially, I might be out and about, on a date, we're having fun, and all of a sudden that it's like, whoa, what's this little thing? You can just feel that energy. You got to find a place, so it's not always once you have kids.
I'm not doing that.
I'm telling you, open that. Oh, I'm telling you, bro, it's some fun shit.
Hey man, I don't play the race card, but if my black ass gets caught in public having sex, I'm in the slammer, man.
Well, I mean, I agree with that. You gotta be careful with public, especially nowadays. But there are plenty of places.
It's a different time now. It's a different time, yeah.
I mean, definitely be places that you can find that are not public, so to speak. But yeah, I think it's a really, really exciting part of what can be in whether it's a big, long-term or short-term relationship.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm not against it. We'll see. Time will tell.
So Marty, we got to ask. John and I we're curious here. Like when you go to Gold's and look around the gym, like do you consider a space where you can go have some fun, passionate fun? They're like, oh, that could be a good spot.
The tanning room. When I was in my early 20s, the tanning room was a very regular stop for me.
Oh, yeah, yes.
I would go tan, right? And there was, I would leave the door unlocked because I never knew who was going to come visit me. I had a few female friends that like to, finish off their workout in a certain regard. And I was, it was good for everyone.
Well, there you go. So not with the tanning bed closed though, right? You guys you didn't have the tanning bed doors closed. Like it wasn't.
Sometimes sometimes you just had to open. You weren't even in the bed. That's it. And I would tell my buddies, I'd come out of there. I say, listen, do yourself a favor. Don't sit on that chair.
Yeah, Johnny, I'm glad you found Terry, bro. You were a wild dude.
Oh, brother.
Hey, Marty.
I'm telling you, I got to be, to a certain extent, I got to be kind of careful of the stories I tell because, some of the things that I did, not that it was wrong, but it was definitely not things that I would want to be telling my kids.
Definitely understand that, especially because you got daughters too. So
yeah, exactly.
Johnny's been,
but on that level, kind of a quick pulling my pants down on the level, really different. But so there's a few different, because I have daughters. I actually, on one occasion, I remember for sure, but I've done it a couple times where I pulled them aside. They were preteen, and I said, "Look, I need to tell you this story, so I want you to hear it from me. I don't want you to hear it from someone else." And it was basically me. It was a story about me treating Terry in a way that I shouldn't have. It was just me not being a good human being, because I figured that at some point that story was going to get told, because Terry and I tell it as a joke now, because it symbolizes what we were versus where we're now. And I was like, one of these days, this story is going to get told and my little girls are going to hear that. The first time they hear that cannot be from someone else.
Right. Yes.
And they'll probably spin it a little bit and jazz it up and make it something it wasn't,
So it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, his story always gets better over time,
Yes. But it's interesting to hear you say, Johnny, because I was, I feel the same way with my kids. Like I am so transparent. I want them to hear shit from me. Like I wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth, right? So I just talk with them. Marty, you've seen me talk with my kids. I just talk to them like I talk to you guys, right? So maybe, and some parents be like, "Holy fuck, you share a lot." Well, no, they're human. I'm just talking with them like I would talk to my friends or talk to my brothers, and then we'll help educate them along the way, right? So we got some comments coming in here. Rick Clody saying, "The afternoon delights is exactly it." And then Rick says, "Wife, did you get me a Valentine's card?" Husband, no, but I thought about it, and it's the thought that counts, right? Wife, yes, but I want you thinking about me even when we're apart. Ding, 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 ding. That's a good one there, Rick. I appreciate that there as well. So, and guys, I do have one little thing here, because Good Time's asking the question about was that a conversation for a couple or for partners? Listen, I do have a topic here on the table we can bring up tomorrow, which is masturbating with your partner might be the answer to quick and exciting sex. So, gentlemen, that is something you might want to consider as you work towards Valentine's Day, which is some mutual masturbation to help you guys get through a Valentine's situation. All right, well, Marty, I know you got to get out of here, Belle. You got to head off to the gym in the snow. Is there any snow left there? Or is it all melted?
Nah, we got a lot of snow, but it's just not like, it probably wouldn't stop anything in your city.
No, exactly.
But we did get a good amount of snow. I think
there you go.
6 inches, 7 inches.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah. We got a good time coming in. Yes, tell your kids I found out at 10 that my father wasn't my biological father from another kid. Woo, boy. Whoa. Good time. Wow. Yes. Thank you for sharing that with us. That
just stopped everything.
That just stops the conversation, Cole. But good time. Thanks for sharing that, because that's a good example though of giving the information from our mouth instead of where they're going to hear it elsewhere, right? And with the internet now, you can find it everywhere, right? So
yeah, I mean, I found out from basically a family friend that I wasn't supposed to be. That my parents got divorced because of me.
Oh Jesus!
Oh wow!
Yeah, but keep in mind, I'm not playing the victim. I was blessed in the fact that I found out at the age that I did, because like 5 years earlier, 7 years earlier, I probably would have not known how to take that in a way that would have helped me, so to speak.
Yep. Yes. All right, well, listen, let's get Marty out of here. We're gonna get Johnny for a pee break. We're gonna reset with a final topic. Johnny, we're going to wrap up today.
I got till 20 today. I got till 20, my brother.
I was just going to say we're going to wrap up around the 8:15, 8:20 mark because I got Mike Smart coming in for our first exchange segment today, and we'll get out. So, Johnny, you go for a break. We'll come back and reset. Marty, have a good one, brother.
Have a good loop, brother.
All right, get after. Marty's going to get out of here, guys. Johnny's going to go do a quick little break here, and we're going to reset the show here. And Jimmy, I got your text here. Thank you, sir. I'm getting that set up here as well. That's fantastic. All right, guys, listen. Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to help you guys get your ass out of bed here. Listen, if you snooze, yeah, exactly. If you hit the snooze button, you're 9 minutes behind. Don't do it. No, don't do it. We start this show to help you guys not hit the snooze button. We do this show to help you guys find a free accountability partner. There's not another place on the planet you're going to hang out with three dudes like myself, John and Marty. Who are we? Well, I've started and sold the company. Yeah, started for nothing, sold it for $50 million. Who's Marty? Marty's a well-desired, well-structured, awesome D1 athlete, made his journey through life, was called a bad word at once, like, fuck that, I'm going to go create some greatness. So Marty's our D1 athlete here on the show. We got Johnny Anderson here. John's done a few things in his life. He may have been one of the world's strongest men in his lifetime. He may have been on stage doing some bodybuilding stuff, and he may have also wrestled in North Korea doing some world wrestling stuff. So you got a crew of guys with experience, a crew of guys that are offering just things to think about here at Mornings in a Lab with Keith and Friends. Coming up here in this hour here, we got the Creator Spotlight in the Community Corner. We are going to then get in about 10, 15 minutes or so. We're going to invite Mike Smart on stage, and we're going to get into a segment we call the Exchange. It's a part of the show here where we are going to start celebrating humans that have things to talk about, and we're going to help them get their message out into the market. Okay, so Jim, I'm just looking at my schedule here of topics before I move over to the Community Corner Creator Spotlight, and I thought that I would pull this one up here. Yes, I got one here quickly for you guys. Listen, guys, if you are over 50, I got something quickly for you guys to consider right now. I'm a big fan of yoga. I'm bringing it up because Wednesday is my yoga day. And listen, when you think yoga, you're like, oh yeah, is he a fucking yogi? No, yoga is stretching, guys. Yoga is mobility. Yoga is agility. Yoga is moving your body. It's just it's helping you live longer. It's helping you be mobile. It's helping you be agile. It's helping you. We talk here often. I want to take my grandchildren up the mountain. I want to carry my kids. I want to do a lot of wonderful things with my children. We can't do that if we're not strong, and we can't do that if we are not limber. So I'm going to take a few minutes here with you guys to give you some things to think about as you go through your day today. Guys, here is 5 yoga exercises that you could do on your chair. So even if you don't want to get up, and you know we're all about getting movement for momentum here, but guys, let's quickly go through these things with myself and John. First one, guys, is the seated cat-cow. Like actually sitting on your chair, loosening up the spine, improving posture, and keeping your back healthy. Sit forward in a chair, feet flat on the floor. Inhale, lift your chest, pull your shoulders back, exhale, round your spine. Do it 3 to 5 times. It's not difficult, you guys. But here's the key, and Johnny's going to agree with me when I say next. There needs to be a level of intention with this. It doesn't happen by accident. John talks about it on the show here. He sits here for the first half of the show. John, correct me if I'm wrong. First half of the show, he sits his left leg up, stretching his thigh and quads. The second half of the show, he sits with his right foot up. He has
I switch every 15 minutes, actually.
There you go, right? So he's sitting, but he's doing it with intention. So don't come onto the show or go through life bitching because you don't have time to stretch. Even
my
if
right foot is directly out in front of me right now.
Love that. Number 2, guys, seated spinal twist, right? Great for core strength and great for spinal flexibility. Sit tall. Sit tall in your chair. Good time, sit tall. Feet flat on the ground. Inhale, raise your arms overhead. Exhale, twist to one side, switch side, and breathe for 3 to 5 breaths. Not rocket science, guys. And here's the thing, Johnny, we both know this. You do this every single day. It's not even disrupting your day. You can do it throughout your day. You can do it throughout your work. You're going to have benefits to your day or benefits to your life. A seated warrior stretch, strengthen those legs and improving flexibility. Sit sideways in a chair, holding onto the back for support. Keep one foot forward. Here's another one. And John and myself, Marty talk about it all the time, squatting, but do a seated squat hold. Get up at your desk and just do a couple squats. Or when you're going for a dump today, do a couple more squats when you're going for a dump. John, lean in for 30 seconds. The power of the squat.
Well, I think the first thing that people got to understand is that there's too many people out there who think that a squat will actually hurt your back or your knees. And if you're one of those people that have experienced that, it's just because you've been doing it wrong.
Yes.
If you learn how to do it properly, it'll actually strengthen your back and strengthen your knees. So obviously getting into that, we've actually given the tips on how to get started on that whole thing. But just remember, if you're experiencing that, you got to have someone teach you how to do it properly. And I'll get to the key is you got to keep the weight on your heels. And the best way to do that is to lift your toes up. If your toes aren't touching the ground, then it's very difficult to put weight anywhere other than your heels.
So John, let's stay here. Somebody's going for a crap today. When they're getting off the crapper, I'm being really serious here. Put the weight back into your heels, right? As you get up off the seat, right?
Well, see, the fact that they're sitting back onto the toilet, their weight's going to their heels anyway.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So you want to mimic that movement, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to sit down there. You're better off to just, or you could actually try to go to the toilet, lightly touch and back up. That's a great way to do it. But lift your toes, sit back in the toilet, touch that seat, back up. Because in essence, the squat, one of the primary reasons that we're squatting is so we can continue to get up and down off the toilet late in life, because that's one of the things that really fucks people up. Next thing you know, they're shitting in their pants wearing a diaper. Life is over at that point.
Yes.
You can't, if you're not strong enough to move around and get to the toilet, life changes drastically.
Johnny, this is why I really enjoy doing box squats and weighted box squats, because it forces me to focus on my heels. And you can't help you do a box squat and be on your toes. Yes. So I really enjoy them. And I think squatting for me is one of the, I think it's just a non-negotiable in my life because of what you just said, right? I want to be able to go to the bathroom by myself. I don't want to have anybody assisting me. I don't want to have the guardrails. And if I can focus on my squats and not, 2, 3, 4, it's funny. I sent you that video a couple days ago. You said there's 2.5 of me. I did a 405 squat. Remember that video I sent you?
Yep. Literally.
That was me. That was me chasing 230 of that. I was about 230 pounds in that video there, actually. So
were you really?
Yeah. And I did a 405 pound squat. That was my one rep max there. And then guys, the last one here to get through your day today is seated marches. Guys, so improve balance, core engagement, and leg strength. Sit up straight, feet flat, lift one knee to your chest, switch sides. Alternate for 30 to 60 seconds. So guys, I've given you something you can do at your desk today. If you're at your desk or if you're working from home, you don't need a gym to do this. You don't need to go anywhere to do this. But these exercises, you should do them every day, single day. They're going to help with longevity. They're going to help with your lifestyle. So guys, seated cat-cow, seated spinal twist, seated warrior stretch, seated squat hold, and seated marchers. You noted that I said you didn't have to walk for any of these things. Yes, we're all about getting moving, but if you have to spend some time sitting, there's no reason at all you can't get these things done. So there you go, guys. Yes, good time. Wow is what it is. Get stretching, brother. Okay, Jimmy, let's do the community corner creator spotlight before we walk Johnny out of here, and then we're gonna bring in Mike Smart for the exchange segment of the show. Okay, listen. Most treat fitness like a quick fix. Drop a few pounds, get in shape for a trip, then we go back to square one, right? It's like, back to square one. But not this dude. Jimmy, I'm not pulling him up just yet. At 50 plus, he's training for Ironman 70.3 Chattanooga, 1.2 miles of swimming, 56 miles of biking, 13.1 miles of running. Yeah, that in itself makes me tired. He's doing this, but not for vanity. He's doing this not for bragging rights. He's doing this for longevity. Johnny, this guy recently became a grandfather. His goal is to be there, to chase his grandson, make memories, and see him grow. Oh man, I'm getting goosebumps. I love this. By day, this dude's a commercial photographer, and he's also on a mission to train and coach other men in the 50 plus set to build real lasting health. No fads, no quick fixes, just a mindset for life and longevity. So when the what ifs creep in, what if the hills crush me? What if I don't finish? This guy's answer is to keep moving. So this morning, Jimmy, let's get it after, brother. This morning, Mornings Live with Keith and Friends is really excited to celebrate our friend. We're inviting you, Mr. David Williams. Congratulations, David, on being the grandpa. And I'm going to congratulate you in advance of completing the 70.3 Chattanooga. You're going to get after it, my friend. The Mornings in the Lab crew is here rooting for you, celebrating you, David Williams. Guys, I invite you to check out his profile. He's a commercial photographer. He's all about a triathlete, distant runner, life science, corporate photography. David, you're inspiring because of the reasons. You're inspiring because you're doing it for the right reasons. You're inspiring because you're saying to yourself, I want to take care of my grandchildren. I want to love my grandchildren. I want to show my children and my grandchildren what it's like to live a life with purpose and longevity. And we know it doesn't happen by accident. David Williams is getting after it. I invite you guys to check out his LinkedIn profile, check out what David's after. But this guy, he treats fitness not like a quick fix. He treats fitness about longevity. So if you're looking to hang out with somebody that can help you hit that next stage in life, whether it's myself, Marty, or John, or maybe it's David Williams. So David, here's how it works, my friend. We're celebrating you here today for the Creator Spotlight, the Community Corner. We want to invite you here in the lab because we know there's somebody in your orbit. There's somebody that inspires you. There's somebody that moves you. We want to hear from that person. We want them to be on the show to come hang out with myself and John and Marty so we can celebrate that human being for the Creator Spotlight. David, get after, brother. Listen, you go complete that Ironman and you come on this show and tell us how you got after, brother, and how well you did, man. So there you go. There's the Creator Spotlight, the Community Corner. Johnny, I've said this before, man. I've got, the things that you've accomplished in your lifetime, I got nothing but respect and prop for. And then, and then these endurance athletes too, right? Like 56 miles of biking, 13 miles of running, mile and a half of swimming. Like that overwhelms me, man. I just can't even wrap my head around going for 12, 13, 14 hours. You know what I mean?
It's a different mindset.
It absolutely is. Yeah, it's absolutely a different mindset. So, all right. Well, listen, good times coming in, brother. I appreciate you, man. Before we say goodbye to Johnny here, Keith. Just wanted to tell you guys how much of a difference this show has changed my life. Good time. I appreciate you, man. That's awesome. Well, it's changed mine too. And I know it's changed John's and Marty's, and I'm glad that we're all doing it together. And like I like to say, I got to get up anyway, so I might as well get up and get in front of the camera and help you guys live the best life you guys can as well. All right, Johnny, I know you got to rock and roll, brother. What do you got on the agenda today, pal? What's going on for you today, brother?
So basically, it's going to be a fun day today. I got goodness gracious, I got to work out. I got to work out a little more fun than normal. I'm going to I was supposed to ride my dirt bike yesterday, but the wind was enough that you don't want to ride in the wind because some of those fucking big jumps, you're up in the air and it'll push you off the fucking track. So like big time. So anyway, I'm going to ride today because it's not windy. So basically I'm going to ride, and then I have actually some extended terror time because she's feeling a little rambunctious, still in a sling.
Yeah.
But so I get to, so yesterday, because I couldn't ride, I kind of just doubled up on stuff I needed to get squared away. Yeah. So that I could, so today's kind of an extra fun day. I get to ride.
Is Terry right-handed or left-handed?
She's actually left-handed, and she hurt her right arm. So it was actually really good.
Oh, yes,
really well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I never considered the wind when you're riding, when you're biking. That would be
if you're not jumping, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But the stuff that's fun for me is there's a track on the outside too. There's two tracks, right? There's one where there's not a lot of jumps, and there's one with the jumps, but I get bored with the one without the jumps.
That's awesome, man. How high do you jump?
Oh fuck, I don't know. We figure the jumps are probably about as tall as my head, right?
So 6 foot, 6'3". Yeah.
Call maybe a little less. Probably anywhere between 4 and 6 feet and it's a ramp. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the landing jump is about equal, but it's anywhere between 40 and 60 feet away, and there's nothing in between. So if you don't make it and you come down, I've done that a few times where you don't make it to the second jump, that's fucking painful shit.
I'm kind of speechless because I'm looking at you like, so there's times you don't hit the other ramp is what you're saying. So you leave one ramp and you might not make the second ramp. So you're landing in the middle and you're like, oh fuck, I'm not landing.
Well, landing in the middle wouldn't be a problem. You'd be going really fucking way too slow. It's where, so the jumps are like this, right?
Yes.
So but they have these, they're like this. So if you come down and you hit this, that's the problem. Or if you hit your bike like this, because the impact of coming down is so great. But when you land like here, you don't even know you're landing. It's so smooth. It's just,
that's fun, man.
And then the problem is if you have a bad landing on one and you don't carry the speed to the next one, that's where you get into trouble. Because it's a fairly fast track. I mean, it's like my bike is 5 gears that I spend my time in 3rd and 4th gear on this track. So I'm moving pretty fucking good.
Dude, you're like a fucking teenager, man. You're like a teenager trapped in a 53-year-old body. And I love it.
Yeah, no, what like when Cam came out and rode, he's my right-hand man, in my business.
Yeah.
Well, first off, he fucking crashed big time on a jump, got a concussion. We had to take him to the hospital. But he was like, dude, he's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, I can't fucking believe what you're doing out here. He's like, he tells everybody, he's like, yeah, I'm going to ride with John. Oh, what are you guys trail ride? No, he goes, he was fucking jumps, man. He goes, just fucking going 40, 50 feet through the air.
That's what I mean. You know what? You got to get Terry to capture some video for us so we can put it onto the show. I want to see you jumping because I have this vision in my mind because I know you're not a little man. And that's the fucking problem is everybody I ride with is under 200 pounds. What do I mean?
And so because normally what you do is you follow someone off a jump. That makes sense. When you follow someone off a jump, it kind of gauges your speed. It doesn't work with me. Because I'm fucking 80 pounds heavier than the next guy. Well, yeah. So that means if I'm not fucking really fucking hauling ass, Jesus Christ, I'm having fucking trouble. So yeah, it's fun.
That's awesome, man. Well, listen, you get after it. I love how you have your fun days. There's nobody I've met in my life who treats life the way you do. You inspire me. You just chase every day with the capital F-U-N and you get after it, man. So enjoy your day today, brother. We'll see you in less than 24 for tomorrow's loop. Tomorrow, we're going to continue the conversation working towards Valentine's Day on Friday, brother. Have a good one today, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Okay, pal?
Have a good loop, my brother.
All right, brother. All right, John is going to get out of here. We are going to keep it rolling. Me and Jimmy, producer Jimmy. And, I think we're supposed to be having our exchange segment coming up, but we might be lost. There might be somebody who hasn't made their way into the studio yet this morning. Amy, I see your comment there. I'll remind Mr. Anderson about your connection requests there in LinkedIn. The obscure ninja, David Williams, is funny because I knew a David Williams. Yeah, true story. The David Williams that I met, billionaire. Yeah, billionaire. Not this one, though. That's the guy that I met. It's going to help me do some business together. Didn't go in the right direction, but hey, got to start somewhere. Okay, what a fun show today. Wow, these shows go so fast. We're working towards getting to a 2-hour limit. These 90-minute, 75-minute shows just go so quickly. We are supposed to be doing our exchange segment here this morning. I don't know if we're going to get that done here today. We will bring that back into the lab here later this week, I suspect. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to work towards Jimmy. We're going to work towards wrapping it up, pal. That's what we're going to do here today. Guys, what a great show here. A lot of great fun. We talked about, I got personal. I did. I dropped some conversation earlier today about a life-changing decision that I had to make. And I invite you guys, if you have not catched the audio version of it, I drop it about the 9:30 mark, 8:30 Eastern time. I dropped it here on the show. There's a post dropping up on LinkedIn here today that talks about my personal story, about a life decision that I made that changed my life, that still affects me today. Positively, but it still affects my life today. So I invite you guys to check that out. We talked about, quickies. We did. We had the conversation about, and listen, we actually kicked the show off with Marty confessing that there are some folks that are tuning out because they don't like the conversations that we have. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. I'm okay with that. This show isn't for everybody. This show is rooted in 1931 with GQ, moving all the way down to Playboy, Penthouse, Men's Health, Men's Journal, all these recorded static publications. Moving down the path to Joe Rogan, moving down the path to Men's Conversations, to now a live conversation we have every single day, giving you guys advice, giving you guys current events, giving you guys tips, giving you something to hang your hat on as you go through your life. I like to say I got to get up anyways, so I'm glad to be here. And ask yourself this, guys. Are you the shepherd or are you the sheep? Yeah, true. I think you guys tuning in here are the shepherds. If you find yourself being the sheep, ask yourself, why am I the fucking sheep? Pause, regroup, and become that shepherd. Because listen, guys, I'll tell you something that I learned. Here, Jimmy, here's some knowledge. When I came back into the world here a couple years ago and regrouped and brought myself back, I stuck with imposter syndrome, stuck with what I did yesterday, didn't know what I was going to be now, and didn't know what I was going to be tomorrow. Best thing I did was start a morning conversation. I first of all started a daily conversation. What did that do for me? Connecting me to a bunch of awesome human beings. Why am I telling you this? Here's why. If you're restarting your journey in life, maybe you're in your late 40s, early 50s, and you're looking to build a new network, or you're looking to expand your network, or look to, be the leader within your community, I can't encourage you enough to start a morning conversation. Doesn't have to be a show. Nobody said a show, but start the morning conversation. Because what I'm learning is this, and what we know is true. Those that start the conversation, set the conversation. And what I've learned through my own experience of doing this, when you start the conversation and set the conversation, people engage. And when people engage, you build your network. So if you as a man waking up today wondering what's next, come knock on my door. I can help you. I can help you get to what's next. True motherfucking story. All right, Jimmy, we're going to get out of here. Good time. I appreciate it, man. Don't change what you're doing for a few that don't like it. Be true to what you are. You're absolutely right, pal. It's funny because we were having this conversation yesterday. And, the reality is that, those that like this show, those that are a part of this community, those that are a part of our vision, my experience, tend to do the ones that the others don't want to do, which is why you guys tune in here every single day. So good time. I can assure you nothing's changing here, pal. I see all your comments on our shorts. I see all the feedback you give us. We're just going to continue leaning into more of who Keith Bilous is. We're going to continue leaning into more of who John Anderson is. We're going to continue leaning into who Christopher Martin is. And then we're going to put that into a blender. Welcome in Jimmy. Welcome in Tommy. And keep giving you guys the content and conversations you all deserve. So on behalf of... Nope, not that one. On behalf of... Nope, not that one either. Nope, not that one either. That's walking out here. On behalf of John Anderson. On behalf of Keith Bilous. That's me. On behalf of Christopher Martin out there making snowmen. Well, yeah, we got Jeremy Lastman on tomorrow's Community Corner. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for the notes, brother. On behalf of Amy Reinert joining us in the comments today. Thanks, Amy. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. You show up regularly. You're an awesome, awesome contributor to our show. I want to, guys, we're going to get Amy in for some regular conversation. Maybe some, like I said, like the women's point of view, right? Maybe some of the topics we're talking about, we could use a women's point of view. So we're going to talk to Amy about that. But on behalf of all of us, Jeremy Cunningham, I enjoyed you having in the show as well. Yes, exactly. Good time. Snowmen with old men. Listen, we're going to get out of here. I got to go to work. I love you, Lauren. I love you, baby. On behalf of me and everybody else, we're going to get out of here. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Less than 24 hours.